actually.
Going to call the October 4th, 2023 McKinleyville Community Services District Board of Directors meeting to order. Would you call the roll, please, Joey?
Director Binder?
Here.
Director Beitman?
Here.
Director Couch?
Here.
Director Mayo?
Present.
And President Rossini.
Present. Thank you. Can we rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? Scott, would you mind leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Additions or changes to the agenda. Items may be added to the agenda in accordance with section 45954.2.b2 of the Government Code Brown Act upon a determination of two-thirds vote of the members of the legislative body present at the time of the meeting. Or if less than two-thirds of the members are present, a unanimous vote of those members present that there is a need to take immediate action and that the need for action comes to the attention of the McKinleyville Community Services District after the agenda was posted. Are there any additions to the agenda?
We have no additions to the agenda.
Thank you. Approval of the agenda. At this time, I'll take a motion to approve the agenda.
Move to approve the agenda.
Thank you. Second? Second. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Joey, would you please call the roll?
Director Binder?
Yes.
Director Beitman?
Yes.
Director Couch?
Yes.
Director Mayo?
Yes.
And President Rossini.
Yes. Closed session discussion. At this time, during the regular session, the board may adjourn to closed session to consider exiting or existing or anticipated litigation. At this time, there are no closed sessions scheduled. Public hearing. These are of quasi-judicial or legislative nature. Public comments relevant to these proceedings are invited. There are no public hearings scheduled. Public comment and written communications. Any person may address the board at this time upon any subject not identified on the agenda, but within the jurisdiction of McKinleyville Community Services District. However, any matter that requires action will be referred to staff for a report of action at a subsequent committee or board meeting. As to matters on the agenda, an opportunity will be given to address the board when the matter is considered. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. Letters should be used for complex issues. Is there any public comment in the room? Is there anybody online needing public comment? No? Okay, very good. No public comment. So we'll move on to the consent calendar. Consent calendar items are expected to be routine and non-controversial to be acted upon by the board of directors at one time without discussion. If any board member, staff member, or interested person requests that the item be removed from the consent calendar, it shall be removed so that it may be acted upon separately. So anybody from staff or the board want to pull anything from the consent calendar? Nope. Anybody from the public? Very good. So I'll entertain a motion for the consent calendar.
Move to approve the consent calendar.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Joey, could you call the roll, please?
Director Binder?
Yes.
Director Beitman?
Yes.
Director Couch?
Yes.
Director Mayo?
Yes.
And President Rossini.
Yes. Thank you. So now we'll move along to continued and new business. So the first item on the agenda is on page 27, and it's consider adoption of resolution 2023-20, recognizing, honoring, and commending James Henry for 25 years of service. And that's resolution 2023-20. And that will be presented by General Manager Kaspari.
Thank you, President Orsini. Attached for the Board of Directors review is Resolution 23-20, recognizing, honoring, and commending James Henry for his 25 continuous years of service to the district and the community of McKinleyville. While James has been a full-time employee for 25 years, he has worked in varying capacities for MCSD since 1995, or for more than 28 years. In 1995, James was hired as a seasonal employee to move irrigation pipe and assist operations staff with daily responsibilities. He was soon recognized as an exceptional employee and was rehired as a part-time employee during the summers of 1996, 1997, and 1998. Finally, in October of 1998, all the stars aligned, a full-time position became available, and James was hired as a utility person 1, and the rest, as they say, is history. James was promoted to utility person 2 in January of 2003, and then lead person soon thereafter in August of that same year. In May of 2013, he took over as the operations director and has pretty much been running the place ever since, with occasional input from the general manager, the board of directors, and the rest of staff. James holds numerous certifications, including wastewater operator 4, distribution operator 4, water treatment operator 2, collection system operator 3, and has a backflow prevention tester certificate. He is the first to offer help when anyone needs anything, either at work or in the community. He's a wonderful mentor to younger staff and is always willing to offer them pointers based on his years of experience. He knows the water, sewer, and streetlight systems like the back of his hand and puts that knowledge to use every day. He is invaluable during infrastructure upgrade projects, both during the planning and design as well as during construction. He is an irreplaceable partner in all aspects of the district's operation and is a large reason for the district's continued excellence. Please join us in thanking James for his service and presenting him with a resolution and longevity award acknowledging his outstanding contributions to the McKinleyville Community Services District and the McKinleyville community for the past 25 years. So do you want to read through the resolution or you want me to?
Sure, I'll read through the resolution, but I glanced over at James while you were reading this to him to see what his reaction was. And I just want to say, James, are you signaling some sort of distress? Your name tag is upside down and your
Oh, no, that'd just be Brad and Blake.
well, I figured that there could be that too.
Yeah.
Thank you. So anyway, I'll go. I would love to have the honor of reading James's resolution of recognition. Resolution 2023-20, a resolution recognizing, honoring, and commending James Henry for serving McKinleyville Community Services District for 25 continuous years. Whereas James Henry, having faithfully served 25 continuous years as a full-time employee of the McKinleyville Community Services District from October 16th, 1998 to October 16th, 2023, and whereas James lends his talents, experience, and leadership to the district, first as a seasonal employee in July of 1995, and with diligent effort and dedication advanced through the ranks to his current position of operations director in May of 2013. And whereas throughout his years of service, James has demonstrated unwavering loyalty, commitment, and professionalism, capably leading and coordinating the efforts of the operations team and lending his talents wherever else they are needed throughout the district. And whereas James continues to perform his duties in an efficient, conscientious, and responsible manner, working extended hours and weekends as necessary, consistently responding with work that exceeds expectations. And whereas, in addition to his role as operations director, James holds numerous advanced certifications in water and wastewater operation, acts as the chief plant operator at the wastewater treatment plant, and serves on the board for the California Water Environmental Association. And whereas James's work ethic and positive demeanor continue to be an inspiration and an invaluable resource to his team, the entire MCSD staff, and the McKinleyville community. And whereas we have nothing further to add. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Directors of the McKinleyville Community Services District hereby confers upon James its highest commendation for the dedicated service he has performed for the district and the community, and further marks his historic accomplishment as a McKinleyville Community Services District employee for 25 years. Adopted, signed, and approved at a duly called meeting of the Board of Directors of McKinleyville Community Services District on October 4, 2023.
Cool.
Congratulations, James.
Thank you.
Okay.
So anyway, at this time, do we want to give staff a chance to, or should we have the board go ahead and chime in, and then we'll let staff have a chance to?
I think we let the board chime in.
Okay, so we'll start with the board.
So I want to move to approve Resolution 2023-20, subject to board and community comment, and I'd like to reserve comments for later.
I'd like to enthusiastically second this motion.
Well, I'll jump in and say 25 years. I hope we have you for another 10 at least. 'Cause I don't know what the formula is, but I worked where I got 90% from PERS. That's a good goal.
Yeah, but we don't have that
You
formula.
don't have that?
No.
Anyway, congratulations, and seeing so many of your coworkers here says a great deal to me. So,
I'm not sure that's
thank
good or bad. Thank you.
you.
Yeah, we'll just stop. No public comment.
Scott, did you have anything you wanted to add?
No, I'm just lowering my mic just for the fun of it. Anyway, we appreciate your work here. And as I read the resolution prior to the meeting this afternoon, I saw, whereas we have nothing further to add, and I couldn't help think that 10 or 20 years from now, some paperwork wonk like myself is going to read through here and going to see that and going to go, what the heck? I first met you several years back during the restoration of the Horses Have a Right-of-Way sign. And you're more than willing to provide our artists with the space necessary and the support necessary in order to bring that sign to the beauty that it is today. And you're very easy to work with, and we really appreciated your support then, and we appreciate your support now and at all times in between there. So thank you. Keep doing what you're doing, and you're definitely appreciated on my end.
Thank you.
Yes, Jim, go ahead.
James, one of my most pleasant days in the last few months was a day spent with you, being introduced to the various people and facilities of the operations of MCSD. I was impressed by everything I saw. Clean, neat, well-run, state-of-the-art. I was even impressed by being invited to go down a silo, and what I didn't tell you was that I was having difficulty with balance, and I thought that a trip down a steel rung ladder about 20 feet underground was probably not the wisest thing for me to do. But I was certainly hung over the edge and looked down, and I was impressed with the cleanliness, the brightness, and quite frankly, the healthiness of that working environment so far underground. But what impressed me most of all was that as I went around and I met the people who report to you and those who work with you, every single one of them looked at you with respect and gratitude, and especially gratitude for being given the recognition for the work they do and given the opportunity to do their very, very best. And what I saw was pride and, as I said, gratitude in every person that I met. And I'll say it very simply, that left me so impressed. And of course, I was also impressed when you told me your history in dragging pipe for irrigation at the beginning and working your way step by step through everything. Last thing I want to say is that as I go around this community and meet with people from other communities, I'm proud of the fact that I'm on the board of MCSD, and I'm especially proud when people tell me how much they envy how well MCSD is run and operated. And I attribute a very large amount of that to the work that you do and have done for so many years, and I want to thank you for it.
Dennis, did you have anything you want to say?
I do. You want me to do it?
No, you go first.
You sure?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm president, I go last.
So, yeah, I've been trying to figure out how to be nice, so when we first met in irrigation, I had what, like 35 head of horses down there at the pasture, and we got pretty well acquainted, you know, coming in and out, and you guys were helpful to me. Sometimes the critters would get out, and you'd have to help me get them back in, and so it's been a long time, man. And one of the things that I wanted to point out, and this is about you, James. Don't think I'm trying to like diffuse it along to, but here, and this guy. Something about this district. People come here and they find a home. And they start out in some of our lower positions, and they stay here and they figure it out and they work their way up. And, you know, I don't know whether it's because of the quality of people that we hire, whether it's the district itself, or whether it's a combination of those things, making an environment where people can succeed. But brother, you have succeeded, and I'm really proud of you. And I won't say another nice thing about you tomorrow, you know that.
We'll forget all this ever went.
That's right. But there's one thing, I have one problem with you. You better learn some James Brown songs on your stuff, okay? Because I'm looking for I Feel Good. Okay. Hey man, thank you. It's been great working with you and knowing you, and you've been a good friend. Thank you.
Okay, it's my turn. Hi, James. So when James started, we were both we worked in the field together and had a lot of conversations. And one of the things that happened along the line was James was working as a seasonal guy, and we hired somebody, and somebody else was picked for the position. And James got passed over, and you can tell the character of a person by when things don't go the way they want. And for whatever reason, and James and I had numerous conversations about this. Neither one of us agreed with that, but you know, James didn't let it get him down. He didn't cop attitude about it, and he just kept on working his ass off. And his opportunity came around when they realized they hired a flake, and he only lasted, I don't know, 2 weeks or something like that. And James got a shot, and then from there on, it was just Katie barred the door. James just worked his ass off and continued to excel and learn the job, and found himself in the right place at the right time. And with that and his dedication, was able to advance through the positions he's had. And Dennis brought this up for you guys, you know, that are new to the district. If you work hard, the culture here is to hire from within, and you guys that have been here for 10, 15, 20 years understand that. But it's not like that everywhere you go. And I think there's people at this table, and there's people out there sitting that understand that. But that's one of the greatest things about the culture at McKinleyville Community Services District, is the ability to be able to to be able to advance from within. But anyway, not to take anything else away from James. James, thanks so much. You were my right-hand man through many, many years. As I advanced, you got to advance along with me, and we were a great team. We didn't always see eye to eye, but we always got the work done. And when I left the operations department and moved up front, I wondered, and you changed things, in a positive way and for the better, and kind of used your personality and your character to sort of improve things and change focuses. And it's been nothing but a positive for the operations department and for the district in total. So anyway, I just wanted to give you my most heartfelt thanks for all you've done, and you're sticking with this for as many years as you have. Thanks, James. Thank you. So at this point in time, we'll see if there's any staff seated here that have anything that they want to say, and then we'll move out to the audience.
Joey, you want to go first, or you want me to go first?
I'll go first. Hi, James. Hi, Joey. So when I got hired at the district and I was really young and really scared and really nervous, James from day one has always been kind and inspiring and helpful and open to questions, and it's because he's a leader, and he seems to come by that very naturally. And short and sweet, James, you're so appreciated, and you are inspiring to many. So thank you and congrats on 25 years.
I'm going to jump in. James, when I got hired by the district and I was scared and nervous, and then I met you.
Held your hand.
Yes, no, I've said this many times, and I'll say it many more times. I couldn't do this job without you, and I wouldn't want to do this job without you. So I am going to retire the day after you retire, so, which, I don't know, could be tomorrow. But no, what you bring to the culture of the district is tremendous, and I think the district would be much reduced without you. So thank you for everything you do on every day.
Thank you.
So now we'll go to the audience. Anybody from the audience have anything to say?
I'm going to jump in.
Okay.
Leslie
Oh, I'm
told me,
sorry,
other than
Leslie.
my presentation, to just say nothing further to add.
Got it. Been with the district for 3 weeks, and I want to say I'm looking forward to getting some of all this wisdom and good caring stuff from McKinneyville. Thank you.
Hi, Eric Jones. I've been with the district about a little longer than 3 weeks, but James has been just a great friend to all of us. He's a heck of a leader. Don't cry, James, because I'm having a hard time getting a little weepy up here. I mean, you complete me, you really do. But no, he's been a great leader. I've learned so much from him in that regard over the years. I had a little bit of a rough go. I felt as when I got promoted to lead person, and it was with James's guidance that I got to where I'm at now, where I think we've got one of the best crews around, if not the best crew around. And that all stems from not only the strong hiring practices that Dennis mentioned over the years, but just strong leadership and a good role model for all of us to look forward to. We all work out. We do a lot of box steps trying to catch up with his calves muscles, but we've not quite gotten there yet. But give us some time. All right, thanks, bud.
We know Kyle's got something to say.
Right after Eric, thanks. Yeah, I'll lower this down. I've been with the district for a while now, and I honestly didn't prepare anything. So, but that doesn't mean that I don't agree with what everyone else said. James is very organized, and he makes coming to work easy. His leadership is second to none. I would say that, I mean, with all the departments, everybody looks up to the way he carries himself and leads everybody. I'd say he wears the pants, although I think some days he just finds his shorts. I don't know where. But thank you, James. Congratulations.
Well, James, as a member of the public, you're greatly appreciated. And we've been through 23 years together of me standing up here and you supporting all of our recreation stuff from the utility side. I just want to say right on, good job on 25 years, and I appreciate you much.
Anybody else from the public? Oh,
I showed up just in time. I love having gone through a project with MCSD, if nothing more than every time James comes out for a site visit, you get a treat of a little extra song or, you know, some good humor. So it's been a pleasure to work with you, James. Congratulations.
Thank you. Chris, sit down.
hey, Chris, you better make my $20 I gave you for this well worth it.
James, I think you're an inspiration to everybody at the district. Your charisma, your positive attitude, I think that just helps with morale with the whole crew. And like Kyle said, he is one of the most organized guys, keeps notes and on everything. So you make, and the help that you assist with other people is impeccable. There's a lot that couldn't get done without you here. And I'm looking forward to working underneath you for another 10 years. So thank you.
Anybody else? Anything from the board? So Joey, could you call the roll, please? We have a motion and a second. Pat, did you have anything else?
Nope. Yeah, no, I think it's.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Joey, would you please call the roll?
Yes.
Director Bender, Director Viteman,
Yes.
Director Couch,
A hearty aye.
Director Mayo,
Yes.
and President Rossini.
Enthusiastic, yes.
And I'd like to grab some pictures, James. All we could afford is just this big thing. So.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, James. Yeah, go ahead.
I would love to say nothing further to add at this time, but I actually have something I want to say. I watched a movie the other day where I can't remember the name of the movie, and it's not important, but it was a really twisted movie where somebody was heading to a funeral and someone was heading to a wedding, and the person at the wedding, they met on a plane, went to the funeral, and it was a funeral of a person who was dying. And so her wish when she was dying was like, let's have my funeral while I'm alive so I can hear all the nice things people have to say about me. Weirdly, I felt like that tonight, like, well, I'm probably gonna get in a car accident on the way home or something. But anyway, not to make this dark, and I do appreciate everything that was said, and as you guys all know, I love you all, and I'm not afraid to say that. And not to sound cliche, but you only look as good as the people below you, and everybody here makes me look amazing. And you know, I can't remember if it was Eric or who said the comment about our this crew that we've developed and built, I would put them against anybody. Between the operations staff, the front office, the parks, like there's no organization that can outdo this company, this district. So I'm very proud to be in this position for the district and seen as, you know, one of the people who are like, oh, you do make things happen. Well, they make it all happen. I just say, can you do this for me, please? And mostly I say, please. And we have a lot of talent that we've either brought in or we've groomed. And those of you I don't know recognize, we brought Bill's come back to the district after going to prison for 5 years. And that is on record. So Bill left us to work for the prison in Crescent City.
He went to work at the prison.
Work. Did I miss that? My mic cut out? Yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry. Bill went to work for the prison for 5 years. And so he's come back, and I'm hoping it's because he likes working for the district. But I do look forward to coming to work every day, most days. Depends on the day, maybe not today. And seeing Pat smile, which is not easy to do sometimes, but I appreciate the morale. I appreciate everybody here. So thank you for all the kind words and making me feel like a funeral. But I do want a recording this so I can hear it when I go to bed every night of every the nice things that were said to me.
Just for you.
Okay, so now we'll do some pictures. So anyway, now we'll move along to item. Do we want to, Mary's, I'm sure Mary's here for a specific item. Do we want to move that up so that we don't have to keep Mary here? And that would be the E4?
It's E4, yeah.
Sure. Okay. So anyway, we'll move to E4, and that's on page 43, and it's consider approval of the final project signs and naming for the Badawat or Mad River Floodplain Project, Public Access Project, and that'll be presented by General Manager Kaspari.
Thank you, President Orsini. As the board is aware, this project was initiated to address the decommissioning and reclamation of the district's percolation ponds, but it has numerous benefits, including establishing off-stream habitat and providing public access to the district bluff area at the end of School Road and the Badawat, currently known as the Mad River, as it transitions to the ocean. This area is unceded ancestral territory of the Wiyot people and has a long history of use by the Wiyot tribe. As part of the initial planning and grant process, Cal Trout and the district reached out to the tribe as a partner on the project. Cal Trout has been working with Marnie Atkins, the former Cultural Resource Director, the tribe's linguist, Dr. Lineca Butler, Adam Cantor, the tribe's Natural Resource Director, as well as Almi Allen, a local Indigenous artist. The Wiyot tribe staff came up with an appropriate Wiyot name for the trail and has worked with Denise Newman from RCAA to advance 3 other signs that will be placed at various locations throughout the project. The district approved 2 project signs at their June 7th, 2023 board meeting, which would facilitate Cal Trout to close out their grant for the project. These 3 additional signs consist of content related to the traditional use of the site by the Wiyot tribe. Lewitgut, and I apologize for my pronunciation, is a Wiyot name that means going along the edge of the water shore. The district has a policy for the naming and dedication of district facilities, which is included in your board packet as attachment 2. The policy states, in part, district facilities are public places, and as such, naming bestows some measure of value. Naming should be applied in order to bestow this value across all sectors of our community, with attention to representation of underrepresented communities, including but not limited to local tribes. The application for naming of the facility is included as attachment 3 and details further how the proposed name conforms to the district policy. The policy also states that the naming shall be executed by the district board of directors via resolution. Resolution 2023-21 for naming the trail constructed as part of the restoration process, the Lewitgut Trail, is included as attachment 4. So at this time, staff recommends that the board review the information provided discuss, take public comment, and approve the final 3 project signs in the Wiyut name Luitgut for the district's new restoration and public access project by the approval of Resolution 2023-21 by title only.
Thank you. Mary, before we take board comment, did you have anything that you wanted to say?
Sure, thank you for the opportunity to address the board, staff, and the public. One good thing about having a project that takes a while to get put on the ground, we started designing this, or the concept for this project started in development in 2015. So at that time, we initiated the signage development, and that gave us a number of years to develop relationship, and then with the Wiyut tribe, and then to bring more and more people in to have eyes on and develop content together. And most recently, including Almy Allen, who has brought artwork into the signage, both his own and another local artist. And I think the content that you see before you is a real testament to those relationships developing. So I hope you appreciate I hope you appreciate the content and the visuals and the story that these signs tell. And let's see. Oh, the pronunciation. Not that I'm an expert, but Wiyut tribal member gave me the good guidance to let look, the Wiyut language, take you for a ride. So Hli, the first 3 letters, you let air out the side of your tongue. Hli wet gut. So slow down and let it all come out. Hli wet gut. And the interpretation, talking with Dr. Lineca Butler a little bit, I came to understand, it's not a literal translation, just like Baduat does not mean Mad River. Baduat is the Wiyut's name for that river. So they are not direct translations, just like Hliwetgut is an appropriate name for the place. It may be along the shore, it may be a high rise in this place. So, but it is the name that has come forward and has been through multiple reviews with the Wiyut tribe.
Yeah, thanks for clarifying that Wiyut had named the Mad River long before any white men were here. So, board, I'll take comments from the board at this time. Any comments?
Well, I like the signs a lot. I think they're great. My only thing, it might be nice to have like a phonetic interpretation of it on the sign, because otherwise everybody's going to murder it. I mean, and
yeah.
I mean,
so some of the signs do have QR codes, and those codes can link directly to the Wiyut website, where you can have pronunciation or storytelling and those elements. So they're there, and I can bring that comment back to see if the Wiyut tribe would be willing to
I mean,
have that link.
Even with if you don't have a phone and you're not on the internet, that doesn't.
Yeah, it's tough though. It's tough because there's no letters in our alphabet for the sound at the beginning.
Right.
Because it's more of a yeah. So that's the tough part about it, is there's no real phonetic way to.
Yeah, and there is that QR code on the bottom of sign 3 too, and that does, like Mary said, link to.
Any other comments, questions from the board?
We could.
Well, I'd just like to say that I think that this artwork is beautiful, and I think that the name is highly appropriate. Thank you.
Yeah. No. Jim, did you have anything?
Yeah, I do. From the very start, one of my thoughts and desires has been to have the native history of the site be recognized and memorialized, if you will. And I'm delighted with this. I think it does that and does it exceptionally well. And I want to thank you for the time and the effort, and thank those who created the artwork. This is fabulous. So, thanks.
Dennis?
So the cool thing about it is that it's timely. Likely the river was not there for the peoples who lived here for eons. The river probably wasn't there. That doesn't matter. What matters is that the timeliness of what we're doing together, and that's what I think is the most important part of this. Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to comment on the artwork and the quality of the kiosks, the materials for the kiosk. They're very well done. I like the habitat, the wildlife, and then also the cultural things. One of the questions I had was so we talk about the WIAT quite a bit during this. Have we got an endorsement from the WIAT for these signs?
We have gone through multiple staff and as including the WIAT cultural director, recent past cultural director, she just stepped down recently, Marnie Atkins. So the signs have been through multiple review and have been before the WIAT Tribal Council. And at this time, and so that time when they came before the WIAT Council, that's when we got connected to Marnie, and the signs took a whole nother reflection of that deepening relationship. So we do not have council approval, like as these signs in their current form have not gone before council, but I did bring them before Michelle Hernandez, who is the current acting cultural director, and asked for her guidance, and Pat can attest to, repeatedly letting her know what the process before us is, which is that this packet was coming to MCSD's board, and if she had any reservation, that she could contact Pat and let him know. I did not receive any notification, neither did Pat, and I do know that this was discussed with Dr. Butler and Michelle Hernandez. So I don't know whether Michelle will want, or Michelle Vassal will want to take, sorry, did I say Michelle Hernandez? I meant Vassal. I don't know whether she'll want to take them before tribal council, if that will be the process. But that it could be that they still go before tribal council at this point.
Yes, Dennis?
So I'm prepared to move the resolution 2023-21 for approval, but I would like to comment to the board for your comments is that I think it would be appropriate for us to approve this resolution and allow it to go back to the tribal council. And if there were some tweaks or changes, I would be fine with bringing it back for modification. I don't know how the rest of the board feels. So that's my motion.
Yeah, just before I ask for a second, my opinion is that without an endorsement from their governing body, I would be reticent to put the signs up myself. That's just how I feel. Even though they passed the muster with me, in no way am I qualified to say that these are of the quality or the content that would satisfy the tribe. So as putting myself in their place, I think that it's the least show of respect that we could do is ask them for their endorsement on the content before we do the signs. But I am.
On that point, could I just say,
Sure.
and Mary may know, and I've spoken to the different people there, you know, the cultural, the TIPO, and different one, about the language for our solar facility too. Would it be a benefit to the tribal council to know that we had approved this subject? Would that be a benefit if we went ahead and approved it so that they could say, we're down, and are you?
Yeah. So
just
you
a
could
question.
you could modify your motion to add pending.
did.
Oh, pending.
Yeah.
Pending their, okay.
Or contingent upon.
Or contingent upon, well, yeah.
I didn't actually use the word contingent, but I thought that was my deal, and I will modify my motion to approve 2023-21 for approval from our board with consideration for modifications from the Wiyot tribe.
I'm sorry, Scott, go ahead. No, so I do want to get clarification at the end. If a tribal administrator comes back and says, yeah, you know, we know staff has reviewed these and we don't feel like we need to take it to tribal council, I think.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I just want to make sure that that's.
Yeah, because then it's
Also-
on them,
Yeah.
not on us,
Okay.
yeah.
And just so as long as it goes up the chain of command there, as far as it can go, or as far as they want to take it.
Doesn't always go up there. Sometimes it's lateral. But anyway, I get you.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Well, I'll second that motion contingent upon the approval of the governing bodies of the tribe.
President Orsini, excuse me, President Orsini, may I clarify the motion?
sure, go ahead and read what you got.
Motion to approve the resolution 2321 contingent upon consideration for modifications from the Wiyot Tribal Council. Thank you.
Good. And we have a motion and a second. Joey, could you please call the roll?
Seconder, good with that?
Yeah. Joey, could you please call the roll?
Director Bender?
Yes.
Director Bateman?
Yes.
Director Couch?
Yes.
Director Mam?
Yes.
President Orsini?
Aye.
Thank you so much. And I really appreciate the motion with that latitude. I think that's the perfect thing to do.
Thanks for coming, Mary.
Yeah, thanks, Mary. So we'll, oh, sure.
I do hope that when these are fabricated, which will not take long, there will be they'll be put onto a metal sheet with a sticker, so it'll be exceedingly easy should they fall prey to somebody's errant knife or whatever graffiti. But when we go to put them up, I am interested in that being, you know, a public event. And so I look forward to coordinating with Pat in the district on hosting that.
Yeah, I would expect that we would do that, and hopefully it'll be easier to get the tribe to show up when we do that than it is to get them to sign off on this.
Yes.
Mary, you got to put them up at night. We're not.
So anyway, now we'll move back to probably a good thing, Dennis. We'll move back to E2 now, which is MCSD History of Measure B and the Value of Parks and Recreation, and that will be presented by Kristen Mesmer, Recreation Coordinator, and that is on page 31.
Thank you. In 1992, McKinleyville voters approved the Measure B Assessment District with a 20-year duration for the purpose of funding the development and maintenance of public recreation facilities, including the McKinleyville Activity Center, Azalea Hall, and Hiller Sports Site. The board authorized collection of the assessments in each year, beginning in fiscal year 1992-1993. In 2011, a property owner protest ballot proceeding was conducted pursuant to the provisions of the California Constitution, Article 13D, for the levy of annual assessments for Measure B Maintenance Assessment District renewal for parks, open space, and recreation facilities, which replaced and extended another 20-year duration for the assessments previously approved by voters in 1992. The new assessments were levied on the Humboldt County tax rolls for fiscal year 2011-2012. There was no change in the annual property assessment amount of $30 per single-family dwelling unit, even though there had been several additions to the Parks and Recreation facility since 1992. For the past several years, the district's revenue collections have been insufficient to cover the operational and maintenance costs of these additional community assets maintained by the CSD, such that the district is carrying a negative fund balance. Therefore, the CSD has proposed an increased assessment and the addition of an annual inflationary adjustment to the maximum rate. Throughout 2022 and 2023, the district has been working with Wildan Financial Services to prepare an engineering report to establish the assessment required to cover these costs. In January 2023, the district began reaching out to McKinleyville residents to collect feedback and input on Parks and Recreation priorities for the community. A survey of 300 property owners was conducted by Goodby Research, and a less formal survey was distributed to the community at large in order to collect input on community priorities. Throughout June and July of this year, district staff conducted several presentations to community groups, service clubs, business owners, providing information about the Parks and Recreation Department and collecting feedback from the community regarding the work of the Parks and Recreation Department. The top priorities identified by the community residents and property owners through these outreach efforts include maintaining the housing facility, maintaining the facility housing the sheriff in McKinleyville, keeping park and restrooms open and clean, keeping the senior center open and maintained, maintaining Azalea Hall, the library, our teen and community center, and the activity center, maintaining playfields and playgrounds in all parks. The following is a short presentation highlighting how MCSD Parks and Recreation amenities and opportunities add value to the community and are integral to the health and well-being of residents in the local community, or local economy and community. Throw that one in there.
Kirsten, could you hold up for a minute? So, do we want to go through the presentation if there's nobody here? We've all done the presentation. If there's anybody in the audience that would be interested in the presentation, going through the presentation again. But there's only one person online. I don't know do we really need to go through the presentation again?
Yeah, that's fine. We did include this on the agenda just in case there were people that wanted to, had questions on Measure B and wanted to discuss Measure B. It does not appear that that is the case, so yeah, whatever the board wants to do.
Well, anybody from the audience want to go through the presentation? Yeah.
Yeah, can we get confirmation from Manuel Fonseca to see if he wants to hear the presentation?
I'm okay with passing on the presentation. Thank you for the opportunity.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Manuel. Did you want to see the present, or did you want to hear the presentation, John? No? Okay.
He saw it as part of the park.
Okay, so, that's right, John saw it as part of the, yeah, I'm sure you've seen it at least once, huh? Okay, that's right. I forgot about the fact that you'd have seen it on the rec board. Okay, so this is an information item. There's no No action necessary. Any other comments from staff or from the board on this item? Now you can say nothing further to add if you would like.
Nothing further to add?
I had a comment. If I don't know if there's still a discussion on McKinleyville Community Watch or Facebook about it, but it might be nice to post this there if possible. You don't know?
Yeah, and just an update, we have 600 some odd ballots that have come back in. We've been getting pretty constant stream of questions, et cetera, and responding to those. So next November board meeting, what is that, November 1st? Board meeting is when we'll have the public hearing on this, and we can go through this presentation again then.
Yeah.
Okay?
So has Joey, you've been fielding as they come in?
Yeah.
Have they been fairly steady? Or are they starting to taper off, or?
It's been fairly steady every day, actually. This afternoon, as of my most recent count, we were just over 900.
Okay. So they've been, so the per day number of them, they're still that's pretty steady?
It's pretty steady.
Okay, so I would expect that doing mailing marketing, that they'll, we haven't seen the peak yet. They'll start to taper off, and once they start to taper, they'll drop really fast, and then we won't get any until like a couple of days before, and then we'll get another rush of them in a couple of days before. So anyway, that could be a good sign or it could be a bad sign. We'll find out next month.
How many were mailed out, please?
6,000.
A little less than 6,000, I believe. Like
Yeah.
5,800.
Again, please.
5,800.
5,800.
More than 5,800, but
Yeah.
less than 5,900.
Roughly 6,000, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And so far, we've received how many?
Just over 900 individual envelopes. Some of the envelopes contain more than one ballot.
Of course, of course. Okay. So that, at this point, represents about what percentage return?
Oh, slightly over 10%, but like Joey said, that we have gotten envelopes that are full of ballots. So the property owner that has numerous properties.
Do we have a threshold of?
Nope.
No, we have to have 50% plus one votes in the positive, as opposed to votes in the negative.
Which are returned.
It just got to be more yes votes than no votes by one vote.
Okay, there's not a.
No, there's no threshold.
No threshold. Okay, thank you.
So we'll move on to item E3. So this is a transfer of investment funds to California class, and Nicole is going to do this. Do we want to postpone this till next month, or do you want to take this one? or-
I'll cover it, if that's okay.
So this is on page 41. It's item E3, and it's transfer of investment funds to California class, and General Manager Kaspari will be presenting this.
Thank you, President Orsini. At the July 2022 Board of Directors meeting, a resolution was adopted authorizing the district to enter into a joint powers agreement with California Class. This agreement allows the district to invest funds in California Class. The district previously held the majority of its idle funds in CalTrust and the Humboldt County Treasury, where returns averaged 1% to 2%, and 2% I think is the high end there. Over the past few months, staff has conducted transfers from these depositories to California Class, where yields are now currently averaging over 5%. The district's balance with California Class is now just over $15 million. The investment funds available under California Class are very similar to the funds the district invested with CalTrust. Due to the current market conditions, all of the district's funds have been placed in the California Class Prime Fund. The California Class Prime Fund operates much like a money market account and guarantees a stable return. This is opposed to the district's previous investment strategy, in which a majority of the district's funds were held in variable rate investments. Per the resolution adopted in July, the district is authorized to purchase shares of beneficial interest issued by the California Class with available funds of the district, and to redeem some or all of those shares from time to time as such funds are needed. So this is just an informational item. We did get a report just on September 30th. The current average monthly yield is currently at 5.4766%. And the ending month balance was $15,124,708.31.
Thank you. Any comments from the board?
Thank you, Pat. Just for the record, California Class is a relatively new but very large fund, which appears to be taking, for many entities, taking the place of investments through CalPERS. Do you have a way that can help us get a grasp of what California Class is in terms of, gee, how big is it, and how many other entities are actually investing through California Class?
Yeah, I don't know how much their current fund value is, but that, yeah, absolutely, that's something we can find out and report back to the board, as well as the number of entities that are enrolled in California Class. I know we were on the front edge of enrolling in California Class, but I also know that they were quickly adding members, one, just based on their return, which is so much better than people were getting from CalTrust.
For me, they made a very, very positive impression in the presentation in terms of the management of the fund, the participation in it, and so on. And I think that information would be useful to have.
And I'll have.
I can answer some of those questions right
Okay.
now. So the last briefing that I got on it, they were over $1 billion in the fund. So California Class is part of a conglomerate of other investments that are in other states. And so CalClass is the one specifically for California, but there's Texas, and there's 3 or 4 other states which I can't name off the top of my head, but we can get that information for you. And it started out as just for special districts, but now California Class is offering the same basic program to cities and counties. And there are some counties that are transferring their money into California Class, and I'm sure that there'll be some cities that'll be in the program too. And I can forward the next time I get a thing on that. I'll forward it to you, Pat, so that you can give it to the rest of the board.
Sure, yeah, and one of the great things about them is all you have to do is pick up the phone and call them, and they'll answer the phone and walk stuff through you, with you, we can chase those down, and we can have Nicole put it in her next month's finance report too, and report on it. Yeah,
and one of the good things about it is that it's a JPA, Joint Powers Authority, so it functions a bit like a special district. It has a board of directors, and much like our insurance, like our health insurance for the staff does. So it's governed by a board, and that board answers to all the people that are participating.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments?
I just wanted to say at our conference, our fall conference for Aqua, they'll be sponsoring quite a few discussion groups and stuff, and they're so we're looking forward to that.
Yeah,
and so I'm real happy with
Yeah. One of the positive things is that that at CSDA annual conference, they've sponsored quite a bit of the activities that went on, and they also, I was going to say something else and it escaped me. What was I going to say? It doesn't matter.
It was pertinent too.
Anyway, so any other questions, comments from the board, staff, public comment? Very good. So we'll move along to item E5. And item E5 is on page 57, and that's approve the regular board meeting dates, times, locations for the 2024 calendar year, discuss possible dates for the 2023 joint MCMAC MCSD board meeting. And that will be presented by Joey Blaine, Board Secretary.
Thank you, President Orsini. Both the MCSD rules and regulations and the Board of Directors policy manual address this topic. Regular meetings of the Board of Directors shall be held on the first Wednesday of each calendar month at 6 p.m. at either Azalea Hall or the district office, with a Zoom option for the public as specified by the agenda. The regular meeting's date, time, and place shall be reconsidered annually. The board visited this as an informational item for review at the August 2nd, 2023 regular meeting. The board suggested that the January 3rd, 2024 board meeting be moved to January 10th, 2024 in order to accommodate the holiday schedule and allow staff ample time to prepare the agenda and packet. Further, it was suggested to cancel the July 3rd, 2024 board meeting due to its close proximity to the Independence Day holiday and consolidate it with the August 7th, 2024 board meeting. The 2024 MCSD regular board meeting calendar, attachment 1, incorporates both of these suggestions. Staff recommends the board review the material provided, discuss, take public comment, approve the 2024 regular board meeting calendar, and discuss possible dates for the 2023 joint MCMAC MCSD board meeting.
Thank you. Did you have anything that you wanted to add, Pat, before we?
No, we do need to discuss the joint meeting. I don't know if you want to take the lead on that or let Joey take the.
Sure. So at this point in time, let's bifurcate the conversation. We can handle this as one motion and one action item, but let's bifurcate the conversation, and we'll let's handle the. Does anybody on the board will take comments on the dates for our 2024 schedule? Do you have any comments or questions related to the 2024 schedule?
I'm going to miss January, but
We'll miss you.
okay. I'm going to be in Cancun.
Ooh, I would rather be in Cancun than here.
I don't think I'm going to try to take a computer. I don't think it's worth it.
So anyway, any comments from the public on this? No? Does Tristan have anything that he wants to say?
Nothing further to add.
I saw him. Where did I saw him? Damn, that boy's growing. Holy mackerel!
He's taller than me now.
He's taller than you now. Yeah, I figured as much. I can't remember where I saw. I just saw him yesterday, I believe. Oh, I know where it was at. Anyway, so now let's go back to we'll go back to the joint meeting between the MCMAC and the MCSD. So the meeting was supposed to be, well, last year it was in October, and it's not gonna happen this year in October. But we do have a couple of dates in. There's a few dates in November, and then I believe in December that we talked about. Pat, could you run those dates?
Yeah, so the dates in November are the 8th or the 15th, if we're sticking with a Wednesday. So that's Wednesday, November 8th, or the following Wednesday, the 15th.
The two 15th, they're the two
right.
Wednesdays.
So that's after our board meeting, before the MCMAC meeting. The MCMAC does want to have their regularly scheduled October and November, and I don't know what they're going to do about December yet, but.
Yeah.
And then December 13th is possibly the only.
Which would be a Monday, right?
No, that's a Wednesday as well.
That December, I'm sorry, December, yeah. And for a refresher for the board members, the MCMAC meeting is on the 4th Wednesday. So that would preclude us from the Wednesday after the 15th.
I've got a question. If we had the meeting on the 8th, is that the would then the MAC have their meeting also later, or would that suffice for them for the meeting to hold?
No, I get the feeling that they definitely need to hold their October one, which is why the date we had proposed got nixed. I feel like they are going to want to do their November meeting as well, so it would be two meetings for this board and 2 meetings for the MCMAC board. And I guess we need to present dates to them. I do want this board to know also that at the MCMAC meeting, a motion was put forth to cancel the joint meeting altogether, but then that motion got withdrawn. So that's another possibility that the MCMAC will put forth. I guess what we would like to do is, of those dates, the 8th, November 8th or 15th or December 13th, can we feel like we can do all of those? So those are dates we can propose to the MCMAC as possible dates for the joint meeting?
I should have known before I came. Let me look and make sure.
What was the date of December?
The 13th.
The 13th? Okay. Okay.
I'm available for the 8th, the 15th of November, and the 13th of December. Okay. Anybody here not available for any of those 3 dates? Okay,
Well, we're fine.
As long as they're all Wednesdays, am I correct on
yeah,
that?
they're all
They're second
Then I'm
Wednesdays.
fine.
Yeah, they're all Wednesdays at 6, and it would be here. Okay, so that was fairly easy.
Will we have an opportunity in advance to prepare? I can't think of any word other than to prepare for that meeting. We get your report in terms of what's going on at MCMAC, and also pick up some of the things that are showing up on the social media. Frankly, especially the town center thing leaves me with a great deal of concern. I don't know whether, as an individual citizen, is the best way to have input in that process. I've tried in the past, and it's been, shall we say, disregarded. I'll say it that way. And I don't know whether this is something that this board then somehow brings concerns to a joint meeting, and if we have the opportunity in advance of that to prepare our concerns as a board for that meeting.
Yeah, so this board had put forth topics, potential topics for the meeting, including Measure B, which all of these meetings will be after our last Measure B, so that topic has kind of fallen off, but the other topics.
Yeah, other than we'll be able to announce the outcome of it, but other than that, there won't be a whole lot of discussion.
Right, we were hoping to, talk about it at a wider forum. But we also had put forth traffic on Central Avenue, which ties into, your concerns about the town center ordinance. We had put forth incorporation and just the joint voice of MCSD and the MCMAC to the county. I think those were the topics that you had agreed on. And so, yeah, we would put together a board packet and get it out, but you as a board wouldn't really have the opportunity
until we get in public, until we're in public during that session to be able to have discussions.
But if we put out a packet, or if you put out a packet for us, does that preclude the MCMAC from bringing up other things? If it's a joint meeting, it would have to be coordinated, right?
Yeah, Director Mayo, if you could talk into your mic. But yeah, so what we will do is propose back to the MCMAC at their October meeting. There's, yes, their October meeting, these dates, the topics that this board has brought up, and then they should pick a date if they're going to do it, or cancel it altogether, and say, yes, we want to do these topics and these other topics.
Okay, and then what would our process be then for adding their topics into our,
And then we would,
because we may not want to, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but one of the previous ones, we went, as a board, we don't want to deal with that subject.
Well,
Can we do that or not? Or I don't really care, I'm just asking.
well, these meetings are all proposed to be after our November board meeting, so we'll have an opportunity to discuss this.
yeah. We will come back to the board at the November meeting, tell you the date, tell you the topics.
Yeah, I guess I'm just looking for a little clarity on protocol, that's all.
So do you have sufficient clarity, Director Mayo?
Rarely do I have clarity, but I'm getting there, thank you.
Will the meeting be?
All right, so is everybody on the board okay? Let me ask this question. Is everybody on the board okay with Pat and I going back to the MCMAC, proposing these dates, pitching the things that we agreed upon, and then coming back in our November meeting, and bringing this back as an agenda item?
Absolutely, for me anyway.
Is that okay with you too? Okay, cool. Any other comments or questions about these two items?
Yeah, I just have one question. Is it going to be conducted like it was last year, with each question being time limited?
I think we'll have to, yeah, otherwise it'll.
Yeah, so it doesn't go off the rails?
Yeah, so the chair, I think that me being our chair and Lisa Dugan being the chair of the MCMAC, we can definitely operate within time constraints.
So, one more, and I think we did it's our meeting, and they are joining our meeting. They are our advisory board, so we will be conducting the meeting, correct?
That's how it was last year?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so if barring any other comment, any comment from the public? No? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move that we go ahead and approve the regular board meeting dates, times, and locations for the 2024 calendar year, and for what we just discussed.
Is that clear enough, Joe?
Would
Can I have a second? What
I'll
part?
second.
Oh, did you have a question, Scott? Okay, second?
I seconded.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Joey, could you please call the roll?
Yes.
Director Bender? Director Viteman?
Yes.
Director Couch?
Yes.
Director Mayo?
Yes.
And President Orsini?
Yes. Thank you. So now we'll move along to active committee reports. The Park and Recreation Committee, that's Bender and Viteman.
Yeah, nothing to report other than what was in the board packet.
Okay, thank you. Area Fund, John, did you have anything that you did the Area Fund? Did you guys meet in the last month? No. Okay, thank you. REDEC, Viteman, Mayo.
REDEC did not meet. They said there was nothing needed on the agenda, and so they canceled the meeting.
Very good, thank you. The McKinleyville Senior Center Board Liaison, Bender.
Oh, boy, we're having fun. Okay, first off, I'd like to thank the Mad River Rotary for once again funding and serving for our annual Thanksgiving luncheon. I think that's going to be fun. Plans are underway to have the Humboldt Senior Resource Center once again, coordinate the catering for that under the watchful eye of Tasha Romo, the Director of Nutrition and Programming there. Also, we have added our knitting and crochet group back, and we're excited to have a new instructor who is 13 years old. Her name is Liv Clark.
Cool.
She's an absolute genius when it comes to fiber arts. We realized a great benefit for both the senior and the child over the summer when we brought in our student interns to teach computers to our participants. And we expect nothing less with this. It's kind of like foster grandparents in reverse, because Liv is doing the teaching for the most part. And I'm also excited to add that we have a second computer mentor for Thursday and Friday mornings for assisting seniors with device and computer problems. And you know, he's an actual IT tech in real life, so he's able to address many of the issues that I can't. And so we just keep getting better every month.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. You know, exposing the kids and the seniors to each other like that. I think that it's definitely a service for the seniors to have somebody that can program their remote or mess with their phone or get them on the internet or whatever. And then it also helps with the kids, having the kids have the opportunity to be able to have a chance to interact with the seniors too. So I think that it's definitely a win-win situation. I'm glad that you fostered that, and that there's an opportunity for that. Thank you very much, Scott. Audit and Finance Committee. Jim, we didn't meet, did we? No, we did not meet. But I'm sure we will be meeting here pretty quick because the year end's closed. I talked to Nicole a couple of weeks ago, and year end's all done and wrapped up, and so I'm sure the audit committee will be meeting on that here pretty quick. Employee negotiations, Couch and Mayo.
We did not meet.
Okay. McKinleyville Municipal Advisory Committee. I'll start that one, and then you can. So we finally approved a draft version of the town center ordinance for the express purpose of going out to bid for the CEQA document for the wetlands and the traffic impacts on that. It's by no means is it a done deal related to approval and sending it up the food chain to the Planning Commission or to the Board of Supervisors, but at least we're working our way through it. I think there's going to be I think that the traffic issue on Central Avenue is still going to need a bunch of work. The board of the McMack is divided. There's a majority that are firmly in favor of a serious traffic diet for Central Avenue in the town center area. But there are a few people on the McMack that are reserving their final opinion until we have a more scientific information back from the CEQA documents. I'm still getting quite a bit of input from the community that's mixed on how they feel about the road diet. I think that one of the things that will need to be addressed is the impact that it's going to have on the operations department to be able to hydro clean on Central Avenue if there's only one lane going north. So I think that between our staff, that's something that we're going to have to be prepared to bring up at some point if they don't want to have, if they want to have a 1 lane north and 1 lane south and no center turn lane, it's going to make it pretty hard for us to be able to do those Hiller poles that we do in the intersection there. So I think we definitely will want to consider that. What else did we talk about? That was it, wasn't it? We had a pretty full agenda, but by the time we got done with that, it was time to go. It was after 9 o'clock, so that was all we talked about. Did I get everything? Okay, thank you. And then, oh, yes, Dennis?
So the road diet is part of the deal when you have an advocacy group that's a committee that has an agenda that doesn't want to listen to the community. This is not going to be a pleasant deal. I talk to people nonstop every day, and I don't get it even, Stephen, at all. People are all okay with all the interesting stuff in the town center and what's going to happen on Hiller Avenue, the stuff that you guys have come up with, which is really cool, and maybe figuring out some minimal traffic calming here at the the main entrance into the shopping center. And everybody says, let's put some focus at the south end where you come off of Bella Vista Inn. That really needs attention. But I can tell you, I haven't talked to a business person in this town that's for this concept, this major road diet concept. And I bring that up at the meetings, too, so it's not like I'm talking out of school. And just because there's grant money doesn't mean you need to always take it. It's one of the things that we've done on this board. We've been really careful about our grant money not being something that we take that then bites us in the ass a year or 2 or 3 or 4 later, okay? So that's not just my opinion. That's the opinion from everybody I talk to. The only people that I talk to that are saying that they want this road diet is like John Ford and the staff and the people on the committee and a few of the friends down on Flushing Heights. So anyway, that's my 2 cents worth.
Yeah, anybody else have any comments? Yeah, I think a lot of, oh, Scott, did you have something? Go ahead.
I'm just going to say this has been brought up on social media quite a bit over the last year or more since it's been brought up. And the results of that were a whole bunch of no's, very, very few yeses as far as the road diet goes. And that's just anecdotally observed, of course, but there's that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that that there's confusion or a conflation of the fact that Central Avenue needs to be addressed from Bella Vista to at least Babbler, if not all the way to Murray. And
yeah, I'd say all the way to Murray, yeah.
But somehow they're using that as a vehicle, pun intended, to move forward with creating this town center concept of place. And with most things that I see in the world today are happening is that the consequences are not being considered.
Yeah, and it's not that people are opposed to new concepts or find a way to make it better. It's that this is the only thing that's being focused on. McKinleyville's a lot more. And the community, I mean, we're scattered out there. A couple of these people that are such big advocates of this, one of them ain't riding his bicycle anymore because he's had some physical problems. I was a pretty tough booger not till too long ago. I ain't gonna be riding no bike. I'm probably not gonna be riding a horse anymore. We're seniors and we're a big senior community and we're scattered out and it's not just everybody that lives in town. Central Avenue's an artery, a main artery for the whole of Humboldt County, not just the town center. Anyway, it's not a sword I'll die on. No, I'm just saying.
Right.
That's all.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So anyway, I'll give Jim a chance to speak up, and then we'll move on.
Yeah, the Central Avenue issue is a matter of coming up with a feasible method of reducing the volume and velocity of traffic through an area that's intended to support pedestrian movement. I purchased and distributed to members of McMac, maybe a year and a half ago, a book that had research on a good many communities in the United States, and with very definitive conclusions with regard to traffic management. I presented the results of the work of a landscape architect firm in several communities, again, with the issue of traffic management. Simple, and I'll say it very simply, economics are pretty simple. High volume traffic supports certain kinds of businesses, used car lots, fast food, drive-ins, and budget motels. It's an anathema for any small business. My students at Humboldt State did research projects which went from business to business in McKinleyville and elsewhere, and the result that came back is that retail in McKinleyville is an absolute no-no. One respondent said very simply, I've watched two of my competitors open in McKinleyville and both of them failed. Nobody shops in McKinleyville. And that's been consistent. Now, when I've attempted to present that information before McMac, it's obviously not something that people want to be addressing. And as I said, I purchased copies of the book and handed them out to people, and the comment that I got back is, "Oh, that's nice. Thank you very much. We'll put it on the we'll put it on the bookshelf in case somebody wants to see it." And I'm sounding off. This is not the forum for the sound off, but it's just simply to say the economics are simple and not difficult to understand, and there's a great deal of literature on it. So,
thank you. The ad hoc committee for community forest, we did meet, and I didn't write any notes down, so do you want to go ahead and take this one?
Sure. I think the main thing that came out of our meeting is to just update the committee on where Green Diamond stands. Green Diamond and Trust for Public Lands are trying to close this by the end of this calendar year. We have made clear to them that that's great if we can do that, but we need plenty of time for legal counsel to review documents, the committee to review documents, and then bring them to the board for review. We're still waiting on the preliminary title report. It's supposed to come out sometime this month. So when we get that, we'll send it to legal counsel for their review. But the other documents from Trust for Public Lands for the agreement on the transfer, as well as the final escrow documents, we haven't seen any sign of them yet. But like I just said, we're going to make sure that the committee and that you have plenty of time to review them before we sign off on it. They reported back on their cleanup day. They organized Green Diamond employees to go out and clean up last Friday. I sent that around to the board. They got a very good turnout for Green Diamond employees. They had 30-some employees, and they got quite a bit of the areas cleaned up. They didn't get it all. They were talking about scheduling Pack Out Green Team to do a cleanup, and they don't think they're going to do that. They think they are going to go after it with their employees, but do at least another cleanup day. And then when they think they have it cleaned up, we are going to do a joint walk around and look at those sites and make sure that we're satisfied with how clean it is. I think that's about it as far as updates.
And I would expect that when we do that walk around, we'll be noting of any camps that are there and asking them to make sure those camps are vacated before we take ownership. Very good. Any other comments or questions on the Community Forest Committee?
I wasn't able to go.
Yeah, I had to go pick my brother up. I didn't get to go either. Jeff?
I was just saying, next time we do a walk around, I'd like to maybe go. I missed the other one.
Sure, yeah.
We're going to be doing the next one when you're in Mexico.
No, in January.
Okay, so anyway, we'll move along to legislative and regulatory reports. Do we have anything, Dennis?
Yeah, there's actually quite a bit of stuff going on.
Well, anything that you want to talk about?
Director Bender and I went down to Santa Rosa to Senator McGuire's event Sunday, and we spent some real quality time with him, talking about different issues and his support for our issues.
Dennis, could you sit forward and talk into the microphone, please?
Sorry. Anyway, and that was a good event, and so I think I'll just leave it at that.
Thank you. I don't have anything to add. I did write something down and I left it at home, and it was related to the amendment, the constitutional amendment for the setting rates, and I'll forward that to Pat so he can send it around. The governor actually sent it to have it reviewed before he signed it, before he would sign it. So it's being reviewed, but I'll send the specifics of that.
Where did he send it to?
That I'll have to send. That's what I'm not sure about, but it was something. But anyway,
was that the unemployment insurance bill?
No,
Okay,
no,
'cause
that was
Newsom vetoed that.
Yeah, no, it was the constitutional amendment for the Prop 218 for rate setting.
Oh, yes.
It was approved. It passed with enough to be approved. But then before he would sign it, he sent it to I can't remember who it was. But anyway, I'll track down that email and send it to you guys. Anyway, so now we'll move along to staff reports. Operations Department.
Nothing further to add.
Parks and Rec Department.
Almost nothing further to add. I'd just like to give you all a reminder that the ribbon cutting for the skate park is going to be this Saturday at 10:45, which means it'll be at 11, but be there at 10:45.
Thank you. And that means the board should all, if you're so inclined, be there for the ribbon cutting.
Saturday.
That's Saturday.
Right.
It's at 11:40. It's at 11 o'clock, so be there at 10:45. Yeah, it's going to be promptly at 11 o'clock, so be there before that.
And don't forget your boards, so we can, drop in,
I think it's appropriate to mention too that Sheriff Hansel just wrote us a very nice support for our Measure B,
Yeah, I was going to bring that, up
Okay,
during my.
and I spoke to
president's report.
him and appreciate his support for us always. And sorry to jump in on that
That's
for you,
okay.
Greg, I apologize.
Okay, General Manager Kaspari?
I got a couple things I want to add. Central Avenue, we're pretty well done. There's a couple little punch list items remaining. They ran out of green paint for the painting of the bike lanes and stuff like that, but we're pretty well done impacting traffic. Also wanted to update you on the 4.5 million gallon tank. That project could be going a little bit better. As we started the project, Mercer Fraser and DN Tank identified they wanted an alternative method to get these big tenons, this big 50-foot trucks into the site. They didn't feel like they could bring it up Cochrane, which is where we had said that they needed to bring things through. Mercer Fraser had been negotiating with American Hospital Management to get a construction easement across their property that sits above our property, and they finally got to that easement last week, and they immediately started hauling in gravel to build a road across that, and the neighbors immediately went insane. So we stopped that work and had Operations Director Henry and President Orsini and I, as well as Mercer Fraser representatives, met with the neighbors, as well as Supervisor Madrone this morning to talk to them about, is there anything we can do to keep you happy and satisfy you that we can use this access to just bring in those 20 trucks that we need to via this entrance. I did not get a warm, fuzzy feeling from that meeting that the neighbors are going to allow us to do that. It was very much focused on, well, you're going to have to redo your complete CEQA document, and you're going to have to stop construction while you're redoing your CEQA document. So it did not go the way we wanted it. Yes. So we are currently looking at alternative access, but we do have another meeting with the neighbors. The neighbors wanted to go away and talk about it, and then we have another meeting scheduled for next Wednesday with the neighbors again to discuss, to see what they've come up with. So we'll see where that ends up, or else we may be working out with Mercer Fraser to develop access through Hilltop Lane and Cochrane. So I just wanted to update you all on that. I don't know, Greg, if you or James have anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I think that that staff's handling this well. I believe that there's a small contingent of the community that lives on Hewitt that are representing the interests of the whole, of everyone that lives up there. I'm not 100% sure, but without 100%, without a 100% support from the people that live up there, it's probably improbable that we'll be able to move that equipment in through that site. So I think that staff is doing a great job of working and Mercer Fraser seems to me that they're going to be cooperative in doing this, and they're not gonna do anything that's gonna cause any more issues with it. So I'm confident that it'll get figured out.
I have nothing further to add to my report.
Thank you. So the president's report. I just wanted to state that we had our 2x2 with staff, with McMack chair and MCSD chair, and Supervisor Madrone and Sheriff Hansel was our guest from the county. And went through quite a bit of things. He gave us an update on what's going on with the county, the difficulties with Measure Z, the fact that Measure Z is not providing near the revenues that it was a few years ago, and that there's a potential that if this continues, that there won't be enough funding there to support what the sheriff's department has done so far in boosting up their manpower and their equipment, things like that. But Sheriff Hansel didn't want to go there yet. We discussed incorporation a little bit and got some numbers from Sheriff Hansel related to what it would cost if we were going to contract with the county, if we did incorporate. Sheriff Hansel talked about the mental health programs and substance abuse programs that are going on in the jail right now. He said they have gotten some relief from I don't remember what was it, Prop 104 or something like that, where they said that people that offenders that didn't get at least 3 years and wouldn't go to the penitentiary, they would have to all go to the county. But what he said is that after their third offense, they're required to go to the penitentiary now. So regardless of the amount of time that they get now, if they get their third offense, they have to go to the penitentiary.
And none of those jail inmates are eligible to come out and do any swap work or anything. And that's one of the things that's also impacted us and a lot of the stuff that we have had partnerships with the sheriff for a long time in. Not just us, but people in the county.
The people that get between 364 days and or 365 days and 3 years aren't eligible for those programs. Yeah. But anyway, like you said, they are seeing more and more of them going to the penitentiary for those crimes that we're just getting them locked up, basically doing penitentiary time in the county jail. And then also he did General Manager Kaspari definitely posed a question to Sheriff Hansel about using his apparatus that he uses for his campaigning to circulate a letter in support of Measure B, and as Dennis indicated, he was kind enough to do that for us, and so we should probably thank him for that. And other than that, that's all I had for my president's report. I was going to remind you about the skate park thing, but that's been brought up already. So now we'll go to F5, which is board member comments, announcements, reports, and agenda item requests.
I'd say the botanical garden is looking really nice. There's a group of volunteer women who've been working on it, and they were planting new plants Monday, and I went and helped them with that. And whenever they do work, I go and pull foxtails. That's my contribution.
Anything else? So I'll entertain a motion for adjournment. Thank you.